And welcome back to episode 15 of our Let's Play series. As you can see, we're up here in our lovely little guard tower. So, if we look around now, there's not much changes up here, but as we slowly slide down, we've gotten some areas for our guards to sit in, some nice little lookout areas, and some foliage so they can enjoy the views and not feel like they're just stuck inside all day. Then they have their armor ready down here in case they see anyone coming. And then we've also finished the interior of our third little base over here, or sorry, the other little base here. And it's just a nice little room they can sleep in and relax. So let's head this way, or we're actually going to jump right into what we're doing this episode. And that, as promised, is going to be the training ground. So let's pull off from ourselves a little bit and we'll see this path, little demarcation here. And so we've got to work this out, make it into an actual viable path that we can flow down, and then lead right over here to where we're going to be building our training grounds. And you can see the trees are still decaying. Just prepped it a little bit, but let's run over there as we talk. Our training grounds are going to have 3 key elements to it, and they might not be exactly what you're thinking. One of them probably will be, but the other 2 probably will not. The first one here is going to be our mainstay of the training grounds. It's going to be a jousting arena. And the point of this is just to train our adventurers to be on top of the horses, stand firm, be strong. Apples. And, just courage, horseback riding, and all that good stuff there. Our second thing is going to be one that you could probably have guessed, and it's going to be an archery range going probably right somewhere over here near the cliff edge. And then our third one, I think I'm going to put all the way up here as kind of a podium little place, and it's going to be a wrestling arena where they can also do sword training. So this is going to be our strength training area. Going to go right up here somewhere. Probably near the crest of this hill. We're going to flatten it out a little bit and put that right up there. So I guess without further ado, let's just hop into a time lapse. Let's build some paths, build some training grounds, and finish up some of the last stuff in our guild area. So let us go. right, and just like you saw in that time lapse there, we finished up the paths in our 3 builds. So we have 2 things left to do on the paths, and then we'll get a quick tour of the builds and kind of my mentality for going into them and what they are and how they'll be used. So our first thing we're going to have here is, if we look around, we can still see that we didn't put those down quite right yet. And so if we switch that into the correct hand, we can then just plop these in the correct positions and finish up the path like that. But the second thing you probably didn't notice, because we haven't done it recently for some of the paths. And I think I want to... Oh, we got a friendly little patrol here. That's what this guard tower is supposed to do, is stop these guys from getting here. Well, we'll take care of that in a bit. Seems like the rest of the party's down here. But what we haven't done recently is put these lights along the path as we go. We can look over here and we got a couple there, but all the way down here, all the way up on this one in the park, there are no lights following the path. So I think what we should do now is place in all of these little path blocks here, and then let's go and put some lights around so that we can take some out of the ground and have more above ground lighting that makes sense for a guild of this size. So let's quickly run over and kill these guys. I should maybe get a flint and steel. And then we will add all the lighting we can get our hands on. So I'll bring y'all right back in after that's done. And with only a couple arrows in me, that's how you do that without getting bad omen. Pretty proud of myself, as y'all probably know by the amount of arrows in me, and just if you've seen any of the past videos, I'm not a fighter, I'm not good at it. So I'm proud I was able to get that without any bad omen. But like I said, let's get back to the lighting. Okay, so I know I keep saying lighting, but I haven't quite gotten to that yet. I've just been filling in all these spots. And I looked over here and, well, let's pull back. This area right here just looks a little bit too thick. So I'm going to shave that down a little bit. So let's just get in here and go just like that. Should be perfect. Let's look. Yes, much better path there. Maybe even let's get rid of that one. So now let's properly fill this in. All right, just like that, finished up all the lighting. You can see we put just our standard little lampposts around all the way throughout it. We connected lampposts all the way down through here, and then as well as all the paths I was talking about back there, except I still excluded the park, and I'll explain my rationale for that in just a bit. But for now, let's talk about these areas. Now, I do know this is floating still on both sides, but I was checking my map, and I can't for the life of me remember where that red sandstone red sand area was that I got it previously. And so I'm thinking it's from the chunk errors that we had in here for a while that I got it, but have since fixed. So what I'm saying is I do not have any red sandstone left to put here or on the other one on the other side. So for now, it's floating, but let's ignore it. This is our jousting arena. We have a nice little middle area here, which I don't quite know the name of. Okay, well, I just looked it all up real quick because I was incredibly curious. And this, where we are standing, is actually called the Tilty Yard, which I enjoy that name for the love of everything. And then the lance is attached to the breastplate by something called an arret and grapper. So, just a little fun facts there that do not in any way, shape, or form affect us, but they're good to know. So, this is our jousting arena. So, here in the Tilt Yard, we come, and then this is where people can come in, give advice, watch the jousting events, and just give criticisms and compliments. And so, yeah, nothing too special there, but it's a nice, simple design, and we have it to where each side is kind of worn down, where the horses have come often, and then we have another station on this side for the jouster to get ready. And yeah, it's simple, but I think it's quite elegant for the purpose it serves. So, on to the next area, which is pretty self-explanatory. This is going to be the archery range. So we can just come down here, we stand on the line. Let's see, do we have our bow on us? We don't, but we stand on the line, we aim at the target, and we hope we hit it the best we can. Now there's no redstone I've attached to this, so there's not going to be any lights that flare up or anything of the sort. Hi, Mr. Trader. But that's okay. It's just simple. This is medieval. There's not supposed to be any special contraptions or anything of the sort, so we don't have to worry about that in any way, shape, or form. So I just saw his leads break, so let's see if we can grab those real quick wherever they went. Down this side? Yes, cool. But now let's head to the wrestling arena where I do have a sword I can demonstrate with. So up here we have our wrestling arena. And this is typically where knights and other adventurers are going to train in strength. They'd wrestle each other for whenever they get in hand-to-hand combat. And then we have these dummies around the edges where they can practice their sword fighting, hit them, give it a quick jump to the side, you know, crits and all that good stuff. Maybe use a sword on this one, show them who's boss, all that good stuff. And so this is our training grounds. Pretty compact designs that do exactly what we need. And yeah, I think it's turned out fantastic, other than the fact that I am missing red sandstone. But we won't worry about that for now. Let's move on to the other side of the map where I can show you everything else I have done. Okay, so now we're on the other side of our little build here, and you can see off on the right side over here that we have some of our light posts in, and they follow the entire path all the way around, even down into our little warehouse district, and they follow all the way down to the gates and back up this path that's down there. But as I told you earlier, I did not light up this area down here. And I actually have a very good reason for that in my mind, and that's this area is already natural. We have a couple of lights hanging around here and there. Thought I heard an enemy. Maybe I'm just going crazy. We have a couple lights hanging around here and there that already break up the natural area of this park. So I thought to myself, let's not ruin it anymore. This is a natural area for them to just commune peacefully with nature, so we don't need to put any sort of lighting here. So let's just leave it alone. And so that's what I've done, and this is still one of my favorite areas in the build. Just all natural. I think this little stream does a great job. A simple bridge there. And, you know, there wasn't a lake or anything here before. We built this whole part. And I'm just proud of it. So I decided to leave it as it is and not change a single thing. But now that we're over here, we can focus on the next 4 things I want to do, which you can see 2 of them laid out down here. And these are going to be builds by Blue Nerd Minecraft, which if you have not seen him, I highly recommend go checking out his stuff. He's an incredible builder and storyteller. He has a whole world, and it's just great. Check him out if you get the chance, and if I remember, I will link him in the description. But we're going to build 2 of his builds real quick, and then 2 more custom houses just down on the other side of this. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to hop into it. We're not going to time-lapse these. I'll just bring you back in stages and show you what I've got. These are going to be quicker. These are probably just going to be complete builds that I show you, because I won't have any design process in them. But the other 2, I'm going to show you a bit more detail. It's just kind of how my mind works with them, what I think out, how I build them, just so you can kind of get a thought process in there and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or hopefully help you with a build or 2. So let's just hop right to that, and I'll see you once we finish that first build. All right, and just like that, we have the first one of these done. So let's pop out of our cells and take a real quick spin around it. It's nothing special, but I think it's an absolutely gorgeous design by Blue Nerd Minecraft again. It's a great little builder there, and he gives great tutorials on stuff. So if you haven't seen him, please watch him. And if I do remember, I will add him in the description of this video. But our inside here is empty. Same with the second floor as well. And that is perfectly fine, because I think I'll probably end up doing the interior on a live stream. And so again, I invite y'all to come and join me there. And then we do have our second build over here, which we've already seen on the other series I do. And my thought process behind bringing that one into this world is just pretty simple. This is a tavern and bar, and again, it has some rooms up here you can stay in. And so I was thinking, you come in from a long journey, or you come in from a seafaring adventure, you'd want to make your first stop be at a tavern and not have to walk what seems like a very long way all the way up to the guild hall, so you can just stop in here and relax. And I think it's a great first stop. And in my mind, it just made sense to put this here. And again, we have this pretty detailed, similar interior. Nothing too special there. The only thing we're missing right now are some armor stands here. But I'm thinking of just branching out and putting some more barrels here. So let's just head over here and we'll get the second build by Blue Nerd Minecraft done real quick. And it's just going to go right between these two. And so without further ado, let's look at it right there. And there it is. Our second build done, again by Blue Nerd Minecraft. And it looks fantastic. I switched out a couple things. I changed the little spruce fences here with dark oak fences just because I think it was a good contrast. And I changed the oak leaves with azalea flowering and non-flowering. But overall, it's exactly what he sent. Again, with no interior, but we will tackle all interiors of this one, and this one, and the fourth one I'm going to build down there next episode. So, we are running low on time here, so let's head over here and get started on the next one. This one's going to be a simple build. I want to go with some wood I don't typically use, which is going to be the warped wood. So what I think we'll do is we'll start out here with just simple little stone bottom, work up into a warped wood top with spruce accents. So I'll get those just markers first, and then I'll bring y'all back in before we do detailing. Okay, and so here are the bare details of our build. Now, I haven't put a roof on it or anything like that because it leads me to more to talk about on how I want to do this stuff. So, if we fly over here real quick, we can see I did a black stone mixed with some of this warped wood. And then I did the same trick I did here where I used jungle as this stick out because, I don't know, it fits in well there and I like it. And they're kind of across the street, so I figured, you know, they each added an addition, they're going to use the same wood, was my mentality there. I might have to turn that into the full thing so we don't get that little peak, but that's okay. We'll worry about all of that later. So, with the bare regions here, I now have to think of how I want the roof to go. So, we want the roof to kind of contrast our accent piece, is what I look at. And so, a good contrast for spruce is either what I have right here in my hand, the spruce log itself, to the outside of it. So let's place some down there to see what I'm talking about. So this color here is dark and they kind of have similar patterns. So they work very well together in that regards, as well as the dark oak planks work good as another, you know, differential from that, but still contrast this. So what I'm thinking I will do is I'll have the dark oak be the lining of the roof on the sides, and then use our roof timbers, so what comes all the way across in this direction, the long place, is going to be our spruce logs. And then, you know, as any fashion on one of these medieval era builds, is we gotta put chimneys on it. So I'll probably add 1 or 2 chimneys on it. But the more important part is how I decided on this layout here. So I generally have a rule that I don't like doing more than 3 or 4 sections in a straight line. And so I left this backside like that to show you. So this, while it has depth, is just too flat and repetitive to be, you know, an eye-catching build. Whereas something like this, while it comes back here, it pops out, it pops back in, does. It gives you details and it adds a lot more creativity you can put on the interior of the build itself as well. And it makes it to where the roof isn't just a long flat surface like a warehouse here. Because while warehouses in themselves are just kind of a drab build, you don't want a house to be drab. So that's why I put the indents and stuff like that. But finishing up this roof and everything else is going to have to be a problem for next episode. Because unfortunately, this episode's run long and I'm recording this late on Friday night. And I've still got to patch it together before I put it on YouTube. But I just want to thank everyone for coming out to watch it. And I hope I'll catch y'all again next Saturday. So, on that note, y'all have a good rest of the weekend. Bye.